So I just wanted to create a video that was more in keeping with my natural style, because I started this channel during an event that required some slightly more polished and scripted videos than the ones that I'm used to doing. So this is me, how I would normally be in terms of just freely speaking and unscripted, though sometimes I do sort of have a list of points or something that I want to make. I haven't got anything for this video, but I just wanted to share my journey to the place where I could be doing this, where I could start this channel, because it may help some others who have come via a similar route or feel that it's beyond them to do things that are so public and exposed. So I was brought up in a very much in a home that was, the philosophy from my father at least was, children should be seen and not heard. And I essentially grew up voiceless. When I started, I think it was secondary school, so I was probably about 11, my form tutor commented on how incredibly shy I was. And I don't look back on myself as being a particularly shy child, but I was in relation to newness. I think, like rats, I was neophobic and I had no confidence. And the idea of speaking to new people, so I was very confident with the people I'd grown up with, friends that I had from the village that we lived in. That was all really straightforward. And I think that's why I didn't think of myself as shy, because I had really colourful and involved relationships with those people. But it became obvious in secondary school, when everything was big, much, much bigger than anything I'd ever experienced before. And new, and so many people, there was no possibility that I would ever know who they all were. Yes, I think I closed in on myself and the shyness became like really apparent. I'm very good at being quiet, and I think I got to the point where I only ever spoke when somebody spoke to me directly. And that really continued on until at some point as a teenager, my requirement for social contact and socialization, and probably boyfriends, to be honest, was such that I had to become more gregarious and noticeable. And I think then I became a fairly outgoing, friendly human who had zero confidence. And then as I progressed into adulthood, I obviously got better at the things that I did. I was a nurse for a long period of time, many years, and I was really good at that. And therefore, I got more confidence in myself as a human being. I had children, and I was a good mother by any measure that was around me. And that also sort of boosted my confidence. But what I could never do, and have never been able to do, is to be public facing with strangers. I would never go, say, away to an event or something like that where I was going to be surrounded by strangers. I just couldn't do that. I would have no interest in doing it at all. And that kind of theme then went through my adult life. So I've always just had a smallish circle of really close friends, and I kind of give myself to the people who are around me at any given time. And that is entirely enough for me. I've never really wanted a public face. And then I started Ratwise, and Ratwise is a subscription membership that basically was there to dig into all the aspects of rat keeping that were not really talked about or explored, and are still not talked about or explored in the broader rat world. It was my small corner and a place that I could be comfortable. And the people there, some of them who've been there for the past 7 years throughout the whole thing with me, They are my people. And even when I first started doing Facebook Lives to talk about the things that I talk about, it was really, really hard. I was so scared and felt so vulnerable. And yet they have always been supportive and kind. And I gradually got more and more confident in doing that and in speaking to the camera. And then COVID happened, and my brother-in-law became a massive YouTuber during COVID. He's John Campbell, for any of you who might have come across his channel during COVID. And he basically did a pretty much daily report on what was going on in the world with COVID, and has since followed through on keeping up with how companies are dealing with the problems that have arisen from vaccinations and things like that. So he became very, very public and well known, and I kind of watched his journey. And in many ways, I actually felt quite sorry for him, because he had to obviously deal with a lot of stuff that he is probably no more equipped to deal with than I would be. And I actively look at fame. I've always looked at fame and being a public person as being something that I truly do not want. I have no interest in whatsoever. But through Ratwise, I came to realize that the things that I talk about, I would like to talk about to more people, because they're not out there and they need to be out there for the sake of the rats. And through watching Johnny run his channel and grow his channel, I kept coming back to the idea of, should I start a YouTube channel? Is that the way that I could speak to more people? And I just kept shutting that idea down, because I didn't want to be in public doing that, having, well, only done that in a very safe space that in essence was mine. It was my space and my terms and my people. Anyway, this has gone on for 7 years because since getting used to doing Facebook Lives, I just decided that maybe that's the way that I should do it. I do it through writing, and anyone in the rat world who knows me will know me for the Scuttling Gourmet. Currently almost finished a second book, which is more about the things I talk about at Ratwise. And I still wasn't content. I felt that I should be able to do a YouTube channel. Anyway, I was rereading Tara Brock's book Plain Big. I think that's her name. She's definitely called Tara. And the book's called Plain Big. And I was reading a section where she talks about imagining that you're talking to your future self, and just sort of seeing what your future self has to offer you in terms of not only what she is like, but anything she regrets and things like that. And I thought, I'm going to ask my future self whether I should have a YouTube channel. And she was 20 years in the future, so she would be an 83-year-old version of me. And she just laughed and said, of course, why wouldn't you? And that just then gave me the freedom and the will to do it. So the event that has started it is a 2-month event that celebrates Ratwise's 7th birthday. But I didn't want all the videos up here to be really formal, because that isn't who I am, and therefore the channel, once the event is over, will be much more me and less necessarily scripted videos. So that's all I want to say, was just to share how I got here to the point of making this video for a public area. And I hope that you will enjoy the channel and that we can enjoy a journey together into the future. So thank you for watching, and if you'd like to like the video or subscribe to the channel, that will only help to get the channel up and running. Thank you. Bye.